Hi everybody, it's Deborah from PeopleLovingAnimals.com. Thanks so much for joining me for today's video. Today's video is called Feeding Your New Puppy. We are going to go over several things in today's video. We're going to talk about how much to feed your puppy, how often to feed your puppy. We're going to talk about which foods are best to feed your puppy. I'm also going to have a couple of free resources for you. You're going to find the links to them in the description box. One is a little free mini course in dog nutrition, and the other is a printable list of foods that are poisonous for dogs and cats. I'm happy to give those to you as a free gift, and again, you can find the links for those in the description box. Now, if you have not been here before, I own a website called PeopleLovingAnimals.com, and several times a month, I do videos all about the care and health and training of dogs and cats. So if you have a pet that you would like to receive continuous help with, please go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. And as always, if the video is helpful for you, please give it a like so that other people can see the video. Now, let's go ahead and get started. We are on my website, PeopleLovingAnimals.com, and we're going to use this article called Feeding Your Puppy Proper Puppy Nutrition to guide us through today's video. I am going to give you a link to this article in the description box, and I'm also going to give you a link to everything in it and everything that we talk about during the video. Also, please drop a comment if you would. I really would appreciate your feedback. Going into the new year, I want to make sure that I'm doing all the things I can to make my videos better, and I already have a list of some of the improvements that I want to make, so your feedback would really be priceless. So again, please drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of today's video. Now, first of all, congratulations on getting a new puppy. They're a gift. I just think they're a precious gift, and I'm really happy for you that you have a new puppy, and I'm also happy for you that you found me, because on my YouTube channel, there is a ton of help for people that have a new puppy, so feel free to check that out. Check out the rest of my YouTube channel when you're finished with this video. Now, when you first bring your new puppy home, he may not be in love with whatever food you're trying to feed him, because he's going to be used to whatever he ate at his previous home, okay? So don't try to force it on him. Don't be too alarmed if he's not like gobbling up everything that you give him. And it's always a good idea whenever you're changing your pet's food to mix some of the new food and some of the old food over a period of several days and gradually transition to them getting all the new food. Now, you may not have access to whatever food your puppy was getting at his last home, but if you do, mix them for a few days to help him transition to the new food. But if not, just give him the new food and just be patient with him and realize he may not be in love with it at first. Give him some time to get used to it. As I promised, I'm going to give you a link for a free mini course on dog nutrition. It's from professional dog trainer and behavior specialist Doggy Dan. I've talked about him endlessly on my website. I think that he provides the best online dog training that is available. I'm going to give you a link. It's a really nice little course about your dog's nutrition. I'm really happy to give that to you. Which food is best for puppies? Before we get into advice on proper puppy nutrition, say that 3 times fast, I would like you to read my article called Best and Worst Foods for Your Pet. I'm going to give you a link to it. There's a video for it, and that will give you advice from a veterinarian. There's a video in it where she goes over at length how to decide which foods are best for your pet, and she can give you way better advice than I can, so I'm referring you to her. So go ahead and click on the link for the article, or just go ahead and watch the video and you're going to be able to get that advice. Also, it is important to know, especially as a new puppy owner, what foods are not okay for your puppy to have. So like I said, I'm going to give you a link. You can go ahead and get a printable list. I'll send it to you of foods that are poisonous for dogs and cats. And it's printable. You can put it right on the fridge if you want to, especially if you have kids, so everybody knows what not to give the puppy, okay? Now, how long should I feed puppy food? You should be feeding puppy food for the first year of your puppy's life, because puppy foods are specifically formulated to help your puppy grow. Things to consider when choosing a puppy food is first and foremost small bites. Puppy food is generally littler pieces than adult dog food. Baby puppy teeth, they aren't that strong, so puppies need small, not too hard food. Consider the size and breed of your dog when choosing what size his crunchies should be, okay? Fresh food, you may want to consider. Fresh puppy foods are available at grocery stores and pet stores. You can find them in refrigerated display cases. They contain fresh meats, vegetables, and fruits. It's a super healthy diet for your dog, but it is a bit pricey, so don't feel bad if you can't afford it. And even if you can afford it, you don't have to get that. You should be feeding your pet the best quality food that you can afford. Okay, so whatever price range your pet food budget is in, choose the healthiest, best quality brand within your price range. Okay, it is important to realize that you got to provide a house for that dog. Do you know what I mean? The dog needs to have a home. He needs to have food. He needs to have shelter. He needs to have heat. There's a lot more, that your puppy needs. And so you don't want to go broke paying for some super expensive pet food that you can't afford. And, then you're all out on the street. You know what I mean? So just use good judgment. And always, you should feed the best food you can afford for your pet, but don't go broke. Don't feel guilty for what you can't afford. Okay. I do also strongly believe that serving a moist diet, not only for puppies, but to adult dogs as well as kitten and cats, is extremely important. Animals need moisture in their diet. Serving only dry food can cause a whole host of health problems down the road. So I would suggest, as you're choosing foods for your dog, not only as a puppy, but for the rest of the dog's life, have a combination of dry dog food and canned dog food, okay? Now, I was going to say I don't necessarily agree with a pet being on all canned food, because if you have to be away for a long period of time, or, God forbid if you went to work and had a car accident and you didn't get home till midnight, you know what I mean? Like, the food dish needs to be full. Do you know what I mean? There needs to be food available for your pet, and that's just easier with dry food. But do try to make sure that you're giving a combination of dry dog food and canned or fresh for your dog. Now, in that video, I don't remember what the title of the video is, but it's for that article, Best Foods for Your Dog or Cat. In that video, we talk about a book that I had bought from that veterinarian that I'm referring you to on how to cook for your dog. I personally loved it. I thought it was very cool. My dog thought it was the greatest thing. So go ahead. I'll try to remember to link that video for you at the end, because I wouldn't want to have to cook for my dog all the time, like for the dog's whole life, but it is fun to cook for your dog, and it's a nice way to supplement their diet, and it's a way to give them whole, healthy foods like fruits and vegetables, and I think it's a bit cheaper if you can incorporate some of that. Our food is actually cheaper, than most, pet food. So anyway, just throw that in there. Go ahead and look at that and see if you might like to incorporate some making your own meals. Anyway, here's a couple of recommendations. Blue Home Style Recipe Puppy Chicken Dinner. That is a healthy, natural, holistic canned puppy food. Canned food is cheaper if you buy it by the case. I'm going to give you a link to Amazon where you can buy this puppy food, and you can get it by the case if you want to. It has several flavors. I had a miniature Doxy who ate the adult version of this food, and she really liked it. And I liked it because it's more moist than other canned dog foods, and it's less sticky, and I just thought it was easier for her to swallow. So I'll give you the link to go ahead and check that out if you want. CANIDAE, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, puppy food. This is a dry puppy food. I like this because it's grain-free. It has real food ingredients. By the way, whatever food you're choosing for your pet, look at the ingredients, okay, and try to choose the one that has the ingredients that are the most whole, natural, healthy, real food ingredients, okay? This one has that. You will save money if you buy it by the larger bag. It does come in, different flavors, and it does have smaller bags as well. So I'm giving you the link to Amazon to go ahead and try that one if you would like to. I'm also going to give you a link to a resource on PETMD. They did a whole article about the best foods for your puppy, and I'm going to give you a link to their article again. I am not a nutritionist. They can give you better advice. The veterinarian I'm referring you to, and also PetMD, can give you more qualified advice on actual, foods and brands and so forth. I'm just trying to give you an overall information on, how do you pick? How do you know what foods do you feed your puppy, right? The next point, how often should you feed your puppy? Puppies should have 3 meals a day until they're about 4 or 5 months old. After that, you can scale back to 2 meals a day. Please don't begin the habit of giving your poor dog a bowl of dry kibble every morning and nothing else. Puppies and adult dogs need fuel throughout the day, just like we do. And would you want to be served a bowl of dry food every morning, and that's all the food you get? Whatever daily portion is suggested on the package for your puppy or for your dog, and that, by the way, is how you know how much food to give them. Look at the package. It'll say, for example, half cup, whatever, for however much the dog weighs. It'll depend how much does the dog weigh, and the packaging for any pet food will tell you how much to give your dog based on their weight. Okay, so whatever the daily amount is that the package says, divide it in 2 and give half of it in the morning and half of it at dinner time. Eating should be an enjoyable part of your pet's life. Dogs love to be included at dinner time. We have our food, they have their food. They get excited and they look forward to dinner each night, and they feel like they're part of the family. So again, don't just throw down a bowl of dry food in the morning and just say, oh, the dog just needs to be fed. Food can be a very enjoyable experience. It can be a bonding experience for your family and your puppy, and a way to help your puppy to feel like he's part of the family, which is very important to dogs because dogs are pack animals. So that's my recommendation. Should I give my puppy vitamins? I always like to give my pet multivitamins. I take multivitamins myself. I don't know. You could talk to your veterinarian if you're unsure. Ask your veterinarian for his or her recommendation on that. But pets can benefit from taking a daily multivitamin just like people do. You can give one specifically formulated for puppies for the first year, and then an adult multivitamin thereafter. I'll give you a link to one called ProSense Daily Vitamin Supplement. It's inexpensive. It's good quality multivitamin. They do have puppy and adult, and I'm going to give you the link to Amazon to go ahead and purchase those. But again, go ahead and not only with vitamins, but with your puppy's food, keep your vet in the loop. Ask your vet for recommendations. And a lot of times it does depend on the breed of the dog, because if you have a miniature poodle puppy, he's going to be about this big. If you have a miniature boxer puppy, he's going to be about this big. Do you know what I mean? So it does also have to be specific to breed. And then as your dog gets older, you also have to consider things like, what is their level of exercise? How much energy does this dog have? How many walks a day does this dog take? Is your dog spending 3 hours a day out in the yard playing with the kids? The high energy dogs that are getting a lot of exercise, they're going to need more food than maybe your English bulldog who sleeps, 19 hours a day. So keep your vet in the loop and continue to get advice as your dog grows on what's appropriate for feeding. What about treats? It's important to consider what part treats play in your puppy's daily diet. First, you should be using treats to train your puppy. I did an article in a video called How to Train Your Dog with Treats. I'm going to give you the links to that. You have to count the treats when you're considering the amount of food that your puppy is eating. Remember, all those treats have calories, right? So you don't want your dog to end up with a weight problem because you're feeding all the full servings of his food, plus you're giving treats that end up adding up to a lot more calories by the end of the day. Healthy ideas for treats are fresh, raw foods like vegetables and fruits. My Dachshund Taz loved blueberries, for example. She loved little broccoli florets. My Boston Terrier Cagney loved tomatoes. He loved tomatoes. Every day I'd have like one of those little round tomatoes, and I would just cut up the tomato on a plate for him, and he would just love it. So dogs really do love fruits and vegetables, but make sure you get that list of foods that are toxic for dogs and cats, because you don't want to be giving any of those. And I also recommend you do the free nutrition training that I'm giving you the link to from Doggy Dan, because he talks at length about how to incorporate vegetables into your dog's diet. Please do not buy the prepackaged soft dog treats. Most of them contain ingredients that are not good for your dog, and some can even be downright toxic. Whole, real food. Stick with that and you'll be on the right track. Okay. Now, for example, you got to make it easy for yourself. You don't want to have to spend 2 hours a week cutting up vegetables for your dog, right? But whenever you're cooking for yourself or your family, if you're cutting up carrots, cut up some pieces for your dog. Just have a little Tupperware container in the fridge where whenever you're cutting up vegetables that are safe for your dog to eat, cut up some for him and then you'll have them. My little Tazzy, the little wiener dog, it was so cute. She liked the blueberries, so I had just a little pudding dish of blueberries in the fridge. And the other thing about that is when you're reaching into the fridge for a treat for your dog, that makes them even more excited when it's coming from the fridge. Do you know what I mean? It's just a fun thing to have little dishes of fruits and vegetables in the fridge that your dog can pretty much freely snack on, and you can use as treats because they're low calorie and they're healthy. Okay. So again, try not to stock up and make those store-bought dog treats a part of your dog's overall diet. I'm not saying don't give them at all, but please don't make them a regular part of your dog's overall diet. Don't make those the only treats your dog gets, okay? And this sounds silly, but don't forget about water. First of all, make sure there is fresh water down for your dog all the time. You have to make sure that your dog is getting enough to drink. Now, I keep repeating about my little Doxy named Taz. She was the drinkingest dog I've ever had. She would go to the dish, and me and my friends, we all had a joke about her where she would go to the dish, slurp, 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 slurp. 20 minutes later, slurp, slurp, slurp. She was the drinkingest dog I've ever had. And then sadly for her, toward the end of her life, she ended up developing Cushing's disease, which caused her to be even more thirsty. But I had to make sure that dog had tons of water. I had to fill her dish more than once a day. So pay attention to how much, your dog is drinking, especially if you have a large breed dog. Now, most dogs will naturally go to their water dish and drink as often as they need to, but some dogs, particularly puppies and senior dogs, can get distracted and literally forget to go get a drink. So monitor your pet to make sure he's visiting the water dish often enough. Proper hydration is crucial to your dog's overall health and well-being for his entire life. Also, remember to make sure that the water is available, especially when you're exercising your dog. When you come in from a walk, make sure he's got a great big fresh drink when you come in. They get thirsty after exercise, just like we do. Of course, always make sure that your dog has access to plenty of water during hot weather. And one more thing, this is just from me to you. Please wash your dog's water dish. I cannot stand it when I go to somebody's house and I look down and either the dog's food and water dish are empty or they're filthy. Really, you should be at least rinsing out their water dish and kind of cleaning it with your hand in water every day. And at least once a week, that dish needs to be washed with soap and water. If you have a dishwasher, it might be easiest if you have 2 water dishes. So one's always in the dishwasher, one's always on the floor for the dog. But please don't forget about that. And please do not just keep adding water to the same filthy dog dish. It's really just a pet peeve of mine. And I will be so bold when I visit people's houses. If I see that, I will pick up the dog dish, I'll go to the sink, I'll wash it and refill it myself. And between you and me, I don't give one shit if the person gets pissed off. It irks me to no end. Would you want to drink out of the same dirty drinking glass for weeks or months on end? Oh, wash the water dish. I'm telling you, Remember to incorporate exercise. Just as important as nutrition for the health of your dog is exercise. It burns calories, it keeps their muscles strong, It keeps them happy. It keeps them active. Remember that puppies have a super high activity level. You need to give them plenty of opportunities for play each day. You also need to give your puppy plenty of opportunities for sleep. I did a video called How Much Do Puppies Sleep? And you might want to watch that because that's going to help you figure out how much should they be sleeping, how much play should they be having. Running around in the backyard, playing with the kids, going to the park, even tossing a tennis ball around in the living room for your puppy. If you don't have a lot of time, just spend a few minutes doing that. Getting on the floor to play with the dog has been a part of my life since I was a kid. My dad would always get on the living room floor and wrestle with our German Shepherd, and my siblings and I would get on the floor and play with our poodle Peppy. I have a friend who regularly played hide and seek with his black lab. Really roll up your sleeves and plunge into play with your dog. Believe me, you will be a healthier, happier person your entire life if you do this. Like I said, I have been on the living room floor playing with dogs my whole life, you know, and even my cat, if you've been here before, you know, I recently adopted a feral kitten named Whiskers. By the way, if you visit my TikTok, I'm starting to put some cute videos of him on there. He's really cute. But I wrestle with him. You know, he's getting pretty big. He's about 7 months old, and he's a tomcat. Now, I always put a blanket over my hand before I wrestle with him because his nails are very sharp, and at this age, he doesn't have the best nail control. Although I do have to say, whenever he bites me, it's just gentle play biting. He doesn't chomp into me. He's pretty good. But I play with the cat. You know, I kind of wrestle with him. You know, every morning in bed, I play with them, wrestle them a little bit before we get up, you know, so just, and again, I think it makes me a happier person. You know, it does. You know, it's like we're all children at heart. Take the time to play, right? A couple more things before we go. First of all, I donate to animal charities. If you've been here before, you know, peoplelovinganimals.com is my full-time job. And the way that I'm able to do it as my full-time job is I become an affiliate for products and services that I want to recommend on my website. So that if you're clicking my links, not all of them, but some of my links, and you make a purchase, I will get a small commission. And then I donate 10% of all of those commissions to animal charities. And if you go to the homepage of my website, peoplelovinganimals.com, you'll see a list of the animal charities that I donate to. So a couple more things before we go. First, I really hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please, again, give it a like, share it, subscribe if you're not already. I'm just going to review for you real quick. In the description box, I'm giving you a link to this article we used for today's video. I'm giving you a link to Doggy Dan's little mini dog nutrition course. I'm giving you the link for the printable list of foods that are poisonous for your puppy. I'm also going to give you a link to some of those articles we talked about, the article with the video with the veterinarian talking about which food to feed your puppy, the one about treats, you know, training your dog with treats. And there was a third one. I can't remember what it was now, but I'll give you the links to everything we talked about in the video in the description box. One more thing, I'm sorry to keep you in the description box. You're going to find an invitation to go ahead and sign up for my dog lovers email list. If you sign up for that about once a week or so, you will get an email from peoplelovinganimals.com, and it'll be an article or a blog post or a video all about the care and health and training of dogs. And for signing up for that email list, I will send you a free ebook by professional dog trainer Doggy Dan called My Everyday Dog Training Tools. It's a basic dog training ebook from Doggy Dan, and it's extremely helpful. And I will go ahead and give that to you as a free gift for subscribing to the email list. So I can't think of anything else. I'm sorry the video went on kind of long. I just wanted to give you not only information in this video, but resources to get more information. So please, again, go ahead and comment on the video. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Deborah, and my website is peoplelovinganimals.com. Thanks again. Bye-bye.